Was that the prologue? Oh, wow. It's Jacinto.
Welcome back, kids. Oh, one thing.
Before we get this video started, I just want to jump in here and chime in and apologize for the way the video looks and sounds. At the beginning of this video, there was some audio feedback, kind of. There is actually a air conditioner running in the background, made the audio sound really funny, and it makes it sound a little more echoey. We were dealing with that. I forgot to turn off the air conditioner, which sits directly behind me when I'm recording. Also, the video, we were working with a new lighting kit when we recorded this and a few other videos, so I apologize for it looking a little funny. It might be a little too light or a little too dark. We're trying to color correct in editing, so if it looks a little funny compared to other videos, I apologize, and if it sounds a little funny, I apologize. This clears up partway through the video, the audio does, but if you want to see what it sounds and looks like properly now, watch The King's Man 3 Minute Tuesday, which came out yesterday, and that's what it's going to look and sound like for the time being. We're trying to get the audio dialed in a little better, but that's very far off future, so we'll see what happens with that. Thank you so much, and we'll get right into the video. Welcome to the place where you're in the camera and I'm the screen. I'm your host, Emid. Welcome to the show. If you were easily offended, there's the door. Get the fuck out. But this is Emid Reviews, the series that will replace 13-Minute Thursdays. This is just going to be a series where we take things that we want to talk about and we do an in-depth review on them. 3 Minute Tuesdays is still going to stay 3 Minute Tuesdays. That's a really fun series that I really enjoy doing, so be sure to check that out down below. But today we're going to review Gears 5. Bro, this is amazing. Whew, we got a lot to get through. This is an in-depth review, in-depth-ish breakdown of the game. So this is your one and only spoiler warning. Gears 5 is the 6th installment in the main timeline of Gears of War games. Gears 5 starts off what I assume is immediately or relatively soon after Gears of War 4's end, where we are on a mission, fully reinstated as COG soldiers, and we're on a mission to launch the Hammer of Dawn, you know, the crazy laser beam satellite, destroy everything, fuck all of your enemies up satellite that we all know and love so very much. Yeah, that satellite. We're going to bring that back. We successfully launch it, but of course, in typical Gears of War fashion, it doesn't properly work. It doesn't have a targeting system that works properly. There's a big fight that breaks out. JD, in typical Gears craziness, uses himself as the targeting beacon, saving everyone, Gears and civilians, and then murdering all of them with the same thing. Essentially setting up the beginning of the story and killing one of, no, my favorite Carmine so far in the series. Killing her, female Carmine this time. Then we have a time skip, complete redesign of all the characters, and we shift gears and we are now Kate, and I'm now making dad jokes apparently. We are on our way to try to recruit somebody to the COG side and bring his people into the protection of the COG. That person, of course, an old friend, the one we saw who lived at the end of the after credit scene in Gears 4. That's right, we're going to see Uncle, who is alive for all of 5 minutes in the game. There is a big attack on the village that you are trying to go to save. You as Kate get your conscience invaded by the OG queen, Mira, of all fucking people. Mira's back. You get pulled into the minds of locusts and eventually a locust warden who goes on to kill Uncle with you watching and technically in your hands. It's really fucked up, right? That's just the start of the darkness that is the fucking script for this entire fucking game. That's the first, 2 hours of the game. Just that whole storyline. That's just setting up the introduction to where we're going in the game. We haven't even gotten started yet. This game is packed with horribly dark things like this, horribly dark storylines, but also returning characters from every installment of the franchise. I mean, every single one of them. And also, like I said, the returning of Mira and her backstory is crazy. So basically, she got a sickness that was caused by emulsion. Then she was experimented on. She was a child when this happened. And then those experiments led to her mutating, and her mutation led to the creation of the locusts. And she's also Kate's grandmother. Yep, that's one of the main plots for this entire game. It's fucking nuts, dark, and I love it. Not to mention the fact that towards the end, you were forced to choose between your best friends and who you can save, giving us one of the most heart-wrenching scenes in Gears of War ever. To whoever decided to make that a fucking thing, fuck you. I hope you are forced to walk in a field of Legos barefoot for the rest of your life, because that is the pain that I feel in my heart even right now talking about it. It's so fucked up. So fucked up. Fuck you. Then, after all that, we get this hollow victory of the Seed of Power, the last big piece of civilization being completely destroyed by the locusts, and yeah, you lost your best friend, and you're just kind of standing there like, what the fuck? It's crazy. So what I'm trying to say with all of this is that this is one of the best Gears of War games, period. Second only really to Gears of War 3, and it's a very close second. I think in general, they're very close. For me, 3 will always be a little more close to my heart. It's a very memorable game. It's one of the first games I ever cried while playing. And I think you know why if you've played through the Gears franchise. This plot is just phenomenally written and executed and just beautifully done in general. It is packed with so much backstory on characters and on the world, and just so good. The storylines for Gears, the newer games, is very well done. I think in general, Gears in the past, especially the OG trilogy, felt kind of hollow and kind of forced. Each game was kind of its own entity that could have existed on its own without having to pay homage to the other ones. They never felt like they were leading to something, and they always felt like they were missing things. I never knew what until we started playing these ones. These very much are this overarching story that build off of and to each other and build to a climax that I can't wait to see. They've added a lot of things in Gears, especially with the newer 2. This one, most of all, added a lot of new features that I'm the first to admit, when I first saw them, I 100% was on the fence, thought they were going to ruin Gears. Whole 9, I just didn't want them in the game. But I'm so thankful they're there. 2 things in particular, because they added a lot of RPG elements within Gears now, which is a really good thing, I think, now, looking back. I didn't think so when I first started playing Gears 5, but the 2 things that I want to talk about are the open world aspect and the exploration, and the skill tree. Now, for the exploration in the open world, this is the first real look at the scale and beauty of Gears of the world. Just to see how incredibly detailed they made this. I didn't think we needed that. I didn't think we needed this big open area, but now that we have it, I never want it to go away. And the way they did it was just phenomenal. You didn't have to explore. You could just go straight to each objective and just get the game over with and not explore at all. But you get rewarded so beautifully if you do explore with upgrades on your skill tree, which we'll get to in a second. But the other thing is that not only do you get those upgrades, you get these lore implications for the background story of the Gears world, and you also get to visit these locations that were huge and crucial in the past, that are still crucial and also kind of dilapidated, but you also get other stories along with that story that already exists to just show that you barely scratched the surface when you visited those places originally. Phenomenally done, and I think the ice area is one of the most beautiful places we've seen. No, it is the most beautiful place we've seen so far in Gears, and it's absolutely phenomenally done. It's one of my favorite places in the game. Now, I hate Jack. And by I hate Jack, I mean I used to hate him. He was very much used as a crutch in the original trilogy to set up these tower defense areas where you have to sit and protect him while you're fighting this onslaught of bad guys. And it was very much used as a, oh, we don't need to build a full level because we got this. We can just do this room. And it's still used in slight here in the newer Gears games, not as much. This game brought in a skill tree. And I still am not a fan of skill trees in most games, and especially in Gears of War. But the way they did it was really well executed. They made Jack have a skill tree with all these really awesome abilities. And I gotta say that by the end of the game, I pretty much used and abused all of the abilities on that skill tree. And just the fact that to get the full skill tree, to get absolutely everything, you have to really explore and pay attention, and you have to explore everything to get all of it. And it was really cool to me. And I never thought I would like Jack, but he literally saves you in the end. And I was so sad to see him go. I was so sad at the end of that game that Jack fucking died saving you. Like, what in the... Best character arc of any character ever. He went from being completely fucking useless to saving you. Mind-blowingly amazing. Just to show Gears really stepped up their game with this game. It's just, these last two games have been so perfect. Honestly, they're perfect games. They're really fucking good, and I love them so much. Visually, this is easily one of the most beautiful Gears games to date. It's just stunning and overwhelming at times how beautiful it is. From these beautiful, sunny, crazy desert to deep underground cave laboratory filled with bad guys that feels more like Amnesia and less like Gears in a beautiful way. It's absolutely phenomenally done. And just the fact that they brought all these old locations in and showed you, hey, that you were there and you had something to do with an event at these locations, but here's the real, really fucked up backstory for all of it, and like shoves it in your face, and you're just like, oh, child fucking experimentation and mutations and creation of a fucking race that almost destroys humanity, or maybe destroys humanity soon. I don't fucking know how the series is gonna end. It's like almost overwhelming how much they packed into this small game. It was really, really fucking good, and it's so fucking awesome, and I really, truly loved it. The score in Gears of War has always just been so fucking well done, but this one in particular really builds off of everything. It sets the tone for the game. It keeps to the pacing of the game, and it really adds to this truly immersive experience that is just unmatched by most games nowadays, and it's really beautifully done. And I so badly want the fucking vinyls for my collection back here that's behind me of vinyls, because it's like, I know they exist now and I really want to buy them and get them because it's an awesome thought that it's that good. It's really that good. They did a phenomenal job. To the people who made the game, to the voice actors, past and present voice actors and cast and everybody, god damn, y'all do such a good job, and this is no exception. Absolutely every emotion was conveyed with so much perfection and emphasis. Everything hits so fucking hard, like a literal gut punch. Like, you literally, your heart hurts for these people. And it's just phenomenally written, phenomenally animated, phenomenally performed. Just a beautiful rendition of a beautifully written and executed game. I can't say it enough. Thank you all for the amazing job you do and have done and are continuing to do with the Gears of War franchise. It's truly an incredible journey. Throughout the Gears of War franchise, we have been faced with impossible odds and hopeless situations. Through it all, we find our resolve and we push forward purely out of stubbornness and a refusal to go down without a fight. This is so much shown in this game in particular, and it really outlines mankind's journey up to this point. We see how it all started. Mira gets further back. We needed a new energy source. Instead of going renewable energy sources, we find another, basically a fossil fuel. They don't know much about it. It causes mutations and sickness, but they don't care because it's making lots of money. That mutation and sickness is sent over to scientists. They try curing this. You get to our favorite Zola-like AI in this one, who comes back from the fucking dead. It's hate him even more. He experiments on fucking children. Gets Mira, who has a mutation in her blood that doesn't make her as sick as the others. That mutation turns into a strength, which later is another mutation when he uses to treat people that turns them into locusts and creates the locust race. And then Mira breaks out with these fucking locusts, takes over the fucking world basically. Through insurmountable odds, we fucking beat her somehow. And then we think we won. And then another mutation and evolution happens. The locusts come back stronger and smarter than ever. And all of this unbelievably impossible shit happens, leading to right fucking here. The end of Gears 5. The climactic battle at the end chapter. The last seat of civilization. Most of mankind in one place. This beautifully strong place, so high up, nothing could topple it, and it's gone in an instant. Nothing could stand against these crazy powerful beings knocking at the door. And it's all summed up with one scene, the final scene. Kate looks out over the wasteland that is now, it's New Ephyra, I think. She's standing there, and you see, it's the final thumbnail that I use for the final episode, because it's such a powerful, powerful statement made by this one scene. She looks out over mankind's loss, everything. The final battle for mankind's survival is coming. This is just the taste. They've basically destroyed everything. The last piece of this beautiful creation that we've made. And then we turn around and see all of our friends, all of our allies. Some who were enemies before, who are now allies. Some who were back and forth between being allies. Some old allies that are new again. All of us standing together for one goal: victory. It's the only goal. Just standing against these insurmountable odds knocking at our door, threatening to destroy mankind. But it doesn't matter. We're together, allies, we're strong together, and we're gonna win. We don't give up. We all have the secondary goal that's not as pushed, but is the goal that I've found while redoing this review, rewriting it, and rewatching through the game as I edited it. You see that the one goal is to make sure that no matter what happens, mankind can continue on after we're gone. That's the goal. The main goal right now, of course, is victory, but that secondary underlying theme is never give up and always make sure that we can continue even when we're gone. You see it in the way that Marcus raised his son, who became a hero, and then a villain, and then a hero again. You see it in the way Kate's story has unraveled. You see these insane, impossible circumstances. And we bring it back in. And we move forward together. That's what Gears is about. That's what this game's about, in particular. I think that's the thing that also sets Gears 5 and Gears 4 apart. Gears 4's underlying theme was origins, was paying homage, was bringing an old story into new light. This one's pressing forward no matter what the odds, and never giving up. I think so anyway. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Maybe there's another one that you see that I don't. Let me know down below. As always here on the channel, we rate games on a scale of 1 to 13. For me, front to back, this was perfect. This is a 13 out of 13 game. And don't get me wrong, this game does absolutely have flaws. There are things that could have not been in the game. There are things that I could complain about and pick apart and ruin the experience and really bring down that rating. But it does exactly that. It ruins the experience that is this masterfully created game. And I don't want to do that. I want it to be what it is. A piece of art. A piece of flawless art and a meaningful, unforgettable journey. A journey that I think everybody should have. You should definitely play it if you haven't already. If you want to see my journey in the game, it'll be linked down in the description. I have a full playthrough of the game. Phenomenal, phenomenal. Like I said, with Gears, this underlying theme of never giving up and always pushing through surmountable odds, I think the real reason I came to this conclusion is everything going on in the world right now. 2020 has been a history book in itself, not just one for the history books. It's its own history book. It's been crazy. And I think we forget sometimes that we have this insane power within ourselves to never give up and to push forward no matter what's going on. Many of us have stories, many of us have lives that have been lackluster to say the least, and we seem to forget sometimes that we push through those impossible odds. And here we are faced again with impossible odds. And someday we're gonna look and see the history that was 2020 and realize, hey, we got through that. And then we'll be facing another catastrophe at the gates, and we'll push through that too, together, as one people, as one race, the human race. And that's something we need to not forget. And this very much is a game that shows the power of that. Everybody coming together for one cause and getting through impossible odds because they're doing it together. And no matter what happens, they're doing it together, so it means more to do so together. And that's something, like I said, we all forget, and I think we should all take away from. So, that's my review of Gears of War. With all that being said, that's going to do it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, my playthrough will be linked down in the description below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe. Check out my other reviews on the channel. And I will see you all in the very next video of whatever I make. Ta-ta for now. Now I'm out. Oof.